What's up YouTube, Dale here for Zephyr Wargames, bringing you, actually before you, a Cyber Angel deck build. Now, it's a little bit odd, it's a little bit weird, and there are some proxies in there. I'll explain why when we get further through it. But without further ado, I'll go through this. Now, this is a new archetype that, well, not a new archetype, it's around with GX, but it's just come out in Dragons of Legend. It's relatively cheap. Well, some of the cards are relatively cheap to get hold of. And obviously because it's in Dragons Legends, they're quite easy to get hold of at the moment as well. It's more of the older ones. So for those of you who don't know, Cyber Angels are kind of like a tribute fodder kind of engine that works really well when they're tributed. So we'll go through them and I'll tell you what the effects are, and then I'll explain why we've got those in there. So you straight away start off with 3 Cyber Angel Ben 10. I'm just waiting to get hold of the third one today. Hopefully get hold of that one soon. But yeah, you definitely play this guy at 3, this girl at 3. So basically you can ritual summon this card with Machine Angel Ritual. If this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original defense in the graveyard. But then it's more this effect that you worry about. So if this card is tributed, you can add 1 light fairy type monster from your deck to your hand. So, fodder for Saphira or Herald, or anything else, and it just adds a fairy to your hand, a light fairy. So guess what? This is the zephyr build. So you just search out your zephyr engine. So we'll move on, and as soon as we get to the zephyrs, I'll explain why. To a day 10. So again, need 1 more of these guys. They're relatively cheap. I've only started building this today, so but I have tested it out thoroughly. So again, you can ritual summon this card with Machine Angel Ritual. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 ritual spell card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card is tributed, you can make all ritual monsters you control gain 1,000 attack and defense. So if you use this to create Saphira, straight away she's a 3,500 attack and 34 defender. So great card to have. Again, you can. There's no argument about bumping this one up. So it's down to personal preference. And 2 Cyber Angel Dakini. So Dakini, you ritual summon this monster with Machine Angel Ritual. If this card is ritual summoned, you can make your opponent send 1 monster they control to the graveyard, their choice. So if they have a Chaos Max on build, bang, that's it. They've got to send it, and it doesn't target or anything like that. So if a ritual monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Once per turn during your end phase, you can target 1 ritual monster or 1 Machine Angel Ritual in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So she just recycles. Now obviously Vishnu, if it stays that name, is the next Cyber Angel apparently to come out from the OCG, and that is going to be a bigger boss monster. But for now, Dakini is the one, and you can understand why. I know it's a level 8, so it's a little bit harder to get out than the rest. You just have to send a bit more, but its effect is insane. 2 Herald of Perfection. I did try this at 1. I've bumped it up to 2 because it's just too good not to have. So this card is an 1800 attack, 2800 defender, and if you use it with a dead 10, straight away you're getting it up to 38 and 28. But the effect is it's busted. It's so good. You can ritual summon this card with Dawn of Herald during either player's turn. When an opponent activates a spell card, trap card, or monster effect, you send 1 fairy type monster from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Now the fact that people like Dakini and all of that recycle the graveyard, not an issue for the send. 2 Saphira, Queen of the Dragons. Again, an amazing card, level 6. So you just tribute out your Ben 10 or your Day 10, and you just go, just off you go. So Saphira is, again, really good card, really strong card. It was out in Dauntless Alliance. A lot of people got rid of them. They're relatively cheap, and then they're starting to creep up in price a little bit. But basically, you ritual summon this card with Hymn of Light. During the end phase, if this card was ritual summoned or a light monster was sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, so even if in your opponent's turn, activate 1 of these effects. Draw 2 cards, discard 1. Discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand, or add 1 light monster from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use 1 effect per turn, so even if you have 2, you can only use 1. But the effect is great. I mean, if they're doing Blue Eyes and they're Dragon Shrining, effect. If he stays on the field. It's just Light Swarms, effect. A Mirror Match, effect. So it's just got endless possibilities. Such a good card. So that's it for the ritual monsters. Straight on to the normal monsters or effect monsters. Cyber Petite Angel, again a new one from Dragons of Legend, relatively cheap to pick up. If this card is summoned, so special summon, normal summoned, whatever, as long as it's summoned, you get to add one Cyber Angel monster or Machine Angel ritual from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect once per turn. So again, as another searcher, if you're in a bit of trouble, you've got a handful of monsters or you've got a handful of spells, straight away this searches out what you need and you can go again. And then here we come, the Star Seraph engine. 3 scepters, 3 chairs. So we'll quickly breeze over them. Now this came out in World Superstars. The chances are they're going to creep back up in price a little bit. But basically the combo is if you have the 2 of these in hand, or you search out one of them for Ben 10 to set up for your no turn, or if you open up with one of these in hand and you activate the effect to ritual summon, and you search out the second one with Ben 10 straight away, and you've still got your normal summon, you go normal, activate in hand, down that comes Scepter, search out a second chair. Second chair's effect goes off, normal summon, straight away you've got 3 level 4s on board. Draw 2 off of those, that's another 2 draws for your ritual summons if need be. Overlay into Deltros or Ouroboros, effective Scepter, target and pop. And then because that resolves, you then draw another one, so you've drawn into a 3rd card. And then Deltros or Ouroboros you detach, and you're either taking one from their opponent's hand or popping one on board. So the engine is insane. Such a good engine, and the fact that you can search it out is just even better. On to Freemanju, because just being able, you need to make sure you've got everything you need in hand. So a Pot of Desires in this deck wouldn't be too bad, but you don't want to be getting rid of everything, all your combo pieces all in one go. But Manju just lets you search out whatever you need, whether it be the ritual spell or the ritual monster. Now again, these are proxies because they're in my Dark Magician deck at the moment, but 2 Summoner Monks. Summoner Monk seems to be my card of choice at this moment in time. Now this build plays no traps, so Summoner Monk is always a perfect little dump to go with it. And obviously with dumping some of the ritual cards, they have a banish effect where they can protect ritual monsters. So it's not the end of the world if you're dumping that. And then I mean, if you have a chair in hand, you summon a monk, special summon out Scepter. Scepter gets his effect to add, chair in hand goes down, and you're off already. And you can have a board of rank 4s ready to go. So yeah, that's it for the monsters. Pretty standard on that one. 3 Machine Angel Ritual, because you must play this card regardless. You need it for your Cyber Angels. Such a good card. And then if a light monster you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card instead. So protection for your light fairy cards. Now I bumped Ritual Sanctuary down to 2. I did have it at 3. I didn't see it massively necessary. I mean, it does the same kind of job as Summoner Monk, but I took one of these out for one of the Summoner Monks. So basically you discard 1 spell card, add 1 light ritual monster or ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. You can shuffle any number of spell cards from your graveyard into the deck, then target 1 light fairy monster in your graveyard whose level equals the number of cards you shuffled into the deck, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Ritual Sanctuary once per turn. So it's a really good card, really strong, but it's a little bit, it's better later game, or better off you've got quite a lot in grave. And obviously Summoner Monk helps get you spells to the grave. Ritual Sanctuary is quite good, it's just not, I thought 3 was too cloggy. Again with Summoner Monk, yeah, you can dump it, but I would rather have 2 Summoner Monk, 2 Ritual Sanctuaries than 3 and 1 or none. The other card that I dropped for a Summoner Monk was a Pre-Preparations of Rites. Because obviously this card will search you out, it's a great card, don't get me wrong, but it will search you out your Hymn of Light and Sephira, or it will search you out your Herald and Herald Ritual spell card, which is absolutely fine. But previously I had 1 of each, but then I've bumped them up to 2 of each, so it's a little bit more relevant. But again, I'm at this moment in time, because I'm quite happy to drop 1 Ritual Sanctuary and 1 Pre-Preparation of Rites for the 2 Summoner Monk. I mean, there are other cards I can drop, like I could drop the MSTs that I've got that are coming up. But at the moment this kind of worked relatively good for me. 2 Hymn of Lights. Now again, this card, this gets you out your Sephira, but it also has the effect in grave. If a ritual monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card instead. Again, it's another protection for your cards on the field. 2 Dawn of the Herald. Again, this is for your Herald card, and when When Herald of Perfection is ritual summoned by this card's effect, you can remove from play this card in your graveyard, select one of the monsters attributed for that ritual summon, and return it from your graveyard to your hand. So again, a lot of recycling going on. Double MST for back row. Now obviously Strike isn't that effective against this deck, unless you're activating the effects on field or grave, but it can't stop you, it can't stop the ritual summons. So MST is just to clear them strikes out if need be, or the warnings, just to be safe. But again, you can easily take these out for the Ritual Sanctuary and the Pre-Preparation of Rites, just however you want to play it. One Pre-Preparation of Rites, sorry. One Preparation of Rites, again, it's only at 1, but you have to play it in a Ritual deck. You add a level 7 or lower Ritual monster from your deck to your hand, then you can add a Ritual spell card from your graveyard to your hand. So if you just want to add the monster, by all means you can. You're not going to get the full effects of this card, but then you can shuffle it back in with Ritual Sanctuary, but you just got to go with it. And then the last card, again, it's in another one of my decks, but this is Instant Fusion, just to help you get, so you whack Instant Fusion Norden, Summon a Monk, or it just helps you speed up your rank 4 plays. So that's it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. Now you'll notice that I think I've only got a 14 card extra deck. And that's because obviously there's one space there that I'm not 100% sure. I would like to, when I get to it, I'll show you why. So we've got one Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, because it's such a good card. Great rank 6. It has been hit to 1. But yeah, you're going to be pushing for game when you're going into this card. One Pilgrim, just in case when your Beatrice does go, you have got that backup in your extra deck. And then the next card is the card that I'm thinking of bumping up to 2. Number 24, Draculus the Vampiric Dragon. I love this card. I think the artwork is incredible. It looks so good. It's in Dragons and Legends. It's relatively cheap. It's a generic rank 7. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you detach one material from this card, then target one face-up monster on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck, changing the face-down defense position. If this face-up card is in its owner's control, is sent to the graveyard or banished by your opponent's card effect, you special summon this card in face-down defense position. If this card is flipped face-up, send one card on the field to the graveyard. So, you bring this guy out, you target itself, it's a 2000 defender, you set him down there, and it doesn't target. So, at this moment in time, with so many cards coming out that says they can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, this guy and stuff like this is amazing. So, 2800 booty, if they've got to get past it, they're going to have to attack it. If they don't get past it, you're flipping it up your next turn, using its effect, sending one to the graveyard, attack with it, attack with whatever else you've got on board, and then if they still got life points, you use his effect again, send him face down, and wait and go again. So I have been considering taking it to 2. I think it's such a good card. I think the artwork is amazing. I generally love this card, and it's only just come out. One number 39, Tokyo Broncos. It's a great card. It turns all your opponent's monsters attacks to 0. Again, a generic rank 6. M7, again, great rank 6. Now onto the rank 4s. Ouroboros and Deltaros. So they require 3 level 4s. These are really the Star Seraph engine. Deltaros, detach and pop a card. And also, while this card has Xyz materials, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal or special summon a monster or monsters. So it's a great summoning protection. And then Evil Swarm Ouroboros, target one card your opponent controls, return that target to the hand. Detach one material first, obviously. Or send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Or target one card your opponent's graveyard and banish that target. All 3 effects are great. You can only use them once while it has the materials. So you can only use each of those effects once while it's on the field. But again, it's a great card to play. The rest are then just generic rank 4s. So you've got your Abyss Dweller, your Castel, your Gargagar Cowboy. And then the next lot, Constella Omega. A little bit harder to get into, but you're looking at your 2 Scepters, basically. I just think it's quite a nice card if you can make it, just to be a bit safe. It's a bit of protection, but this one can easily come out, no worries about that. Digasto Emerald for the recycling ability. Now this one can come out, it's just a little tech, because obviously Dark Magician's around the corner, Blue Eyes and stuff like that were coming up. Still Swarm Roach. So 2 level 4 monsters during either player's turn. When a level 5 or higher monster would be special summoned, you detach one material from this card, negate the special summon, and if you do, destroy it. So it's kind of like a warning for level 5 or highers. So I think he's a nice little rank 4 to put up. He's not amazing, he's not going to change the world, but in certain matchups he can really help. And I think with the meta the way it's going at the moment, it looks like it's going blue eyes, it's going higher level cards. He's a great little touch to put in, and then the one Norden. So I mean, obviously there are questionable things in the extra deck like the Steel Swarm Roach and the Omega. They can come out. You can bump up Draculus if you want. So there's plenty of ways to work and mix with the extra deck, and there are still ways and areas for improvement for the main deck. I just think it's a really fun deck to play. If you're a fan of the old GX series, you're gonna really want to play this deck. I don't know why it's taken them so long to bring this deck out, but again, it is really fun. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I completed it today, but when I have been playing it, it's been really fun to run. So that's the Cyber Angel deck profile. I know it's done quite well at YCS Rami. It's done really well at YCS this weekend. So again, it's another deck to keep your eye out for. It's not massively expensive. I think the Heralds and Zephyrs are slowly climbing up, so if you grab them soon, they'll be alright. Ben 10 is probably the highest Angel, and then your extra deck is relatively cheap. There's nothing massively expensive in there if you're not a rarity, crazy about your rarities. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. We'll be bringing you more videos throughout the week. I hopefully will have a very nice and very special opening coming up soon as well. And thank you so much again. I said this at the end of my last video, but I'm going to say this at the end of this video because I'm so happy that we have reached over 500 subscribers. And like I said, our target is 1,000 by our year, which is the middle of January. So thank you for everyone out there supporting us. We really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you can to the video, keep it positive, and as always, happy dueling.